Hi guys, I hope you're all well and smiling. I wanted to jump on today and just do a catch up on what's happened in the last week. Just wow for last weekend. I'm still catching up on the photos and the videos. We've had so many of our supporters sending those through, and I'm trying to share as many of those efforts as possible because they're just fantastic. And also the videos from all around the world. Isn't it incredible to see so many more eyes opening and people standing together for our freedoms, for our children and for future generations? So thank you to everyone that headed along. Thank you to everyone that reached out and got copies of the flyers to hand out. Such a fantastic way to raise awareness. And big thanks to the amazing Roxanne that put that flyer together. I think it's just fabulous. Has so much information on there to get people started that are just looking at this topic around the protection of pedophiles in Australia for the first time. So thank you for everyone that got out there and raised awareness. You're all amazing, and that's how we demand change. We're opening new eyes every single day and really demanding the changes to laws, the changes to policies, so they are protecting the people, and that in particular that they're protecting our children as well. We have an event coming up in June. We've partnered with Jeanette Archer in the UK, who's a survivor speaking out against the corruption around the protection of pedophiles, and in particular a high profile pedophile rings that operate around the UK, around Australia and around the world. And she is actually a victim of satanic ritual abuse, so a very organised and orchestrated form of abusing children that is incredibly prolific, both in the UK and in Australia. So that's going to be an incredible event coming up on the 26th of June. We have most of the major cities set up at the moment with our supporters who've reached out. And I just wanted to encourage anyone, if you're from a regional area, if you're from a smaller town, if you're from a smaller city that we haven't set up yet, please feel free to reach out. We may not have hundreds of supporters in that area. However, you can do an incredible demonstration with, 2 to 4 people with signs, and let's face it, every single place, every single town, every single city really needs awareness raised around the protection of pedophiles and a discussion about the solutions for our children in Australia. So looking forward to seeing many of you at that event in Melbourne, and I'm really looking forward to having a fantastic day focused on children. We've had so many people reaching out saying, where is the day that we march for children? There's so many other issues, there's so many other agendas at the moment, and they're all loud, and there's so many concerns, and people are waking up to so much corruption around us, and we really need to keep the plight of our children, the lack of support, the corruption in our justice system, and the protection of pedophiles in Australia really prominent in the conversation. These are the most vulnerable in our communities, and without us standing up, they don't have a voice. So, it's up to us, all of us that are awake to the level of corruption in our courts, in our governments, around the protection of pedophiles, to really get out there and make some noise, raise awareness, open some new eyes, have that tough conversation of, standing in your truth and letting people know about something that they might not have heard of before. And you can really see that it is difficult for people to get their heads around this. And I think for so many years, the media coverage and, what our politicians have been saying and the actions that are being taken in the community have really just put out there that this is an unsolvable problem, that child sexual abuse and the existence of pedophile rings in Australia is something that cannot be solved. And that's just rubbish. Like, we have shut down the economy, we've shut down states. At times we've even shut down the country in the last 12 months over a virus that, you know, the numbers so far in that time are about 1,100 fatalities. You know, every single year, 35,000 children are reported as being sexually abused. You know, how many children go unreported? When we compare those numbers, isn't it ridiculous that the conversations that we're having are around a flu, around something that's affecting so fewer people? You know, and I think the best thing about this is it's really shown how quickly change can be made if people focus on it. If our systems, if our policy, if our media are all focused on these issues, how quickly can things change? You know, we've locked down states in a matter of days. You know, and what sort of society are we if we're not taking care of our very most vulnerable? So speaking of taking action and raising awareness, we have an event coming up on the 26th of June in cities around Australia, and we are marching for children. It's a day solely focused on children, which is really exciting. And we will have speakers, we're going to have survivors coming forward and really sharing their experiences and some amazing solutions in our community. It is part of an international event where survivors are speaking up, in particular at this stage in the UK, but there are a number of countries that are joining and getting themselves organised at present, which is exciting. And we're really bringing attention to the prolific, high-profile pedophile rings that are operating in Australia and around the world and are incredibly linked as well. And a lot of this information has been suppressed, as we can see with the suppression order that's protecting so many people in our judicial system and a former Prime Minister. And really, you know, we have to remember that we're talking about that suppression order. It's just one that's been described and raised by Senator Heffernan. There are literally hundreds of suppression orders over child sexual abuse within this country, both from the Woods Royal Commission and also from the Mulligan Inquiry and from many, many other court cases. Okay? And what is the reason for this information being suppressed from the public? It's not okay, and it's really up to us to stand up, make some noise and really demand, you know, that Australians and especially Australian children deserve truth, justice and freedom. It's just not good enough, not on our watch. And I think it's really amazing to see just how much action has taken place in the last 12 months with more and more awareness growing. You know, in places all around the world, we're seeing changes to laws, changes to policy, as you know, people that are aware of this corruption around the protection of pedophiles, I should say, you know, is really coming to the forefront. We've seen, you know, Pornhub be taken to court by survivors and a huge amount of awareness raised there. They had a petition running for 6 months and actually were able to get media coverage of that one in the US. And they've got nearly 2 million signatures on there. You know, that's a huge amount of awareness that's been raised, albeit it's in a much bigger country than Australia. And that's only happened because so many people are working together. You know, Pornhub had to actually remove 80% of their videos because they didn't have consent. They didn't have proof that these people were actually overage. So I'd be suggesting that they were quite concerned they weren't. You know, and a lot of people are waking up to the fact that the porn industry and pornography is not something that people are generally consenting to. So many women, so many children are trafficked through that industry, and the media tries to portray a bit of a pretty woman lifestyle, and that people choose this industry to work in, that people might choose to work in a brothel. And look, I'm not saying that every person there is trafficked, but when we look at it, especially when we find out that children are involved, we know that these judges and the judicial system were heading to a boy brothel in King's Cross in Sydney. Children cannot consent. Children being in pornography, children being in the sex industry is child rape. There's a lot of really sneaky uses of language. Child pornography, it's not pornography, it's child rape material. So we really need to call it out, expose it, talk about it. As a society, we're raising our level of consciousness. We are seeking truth. We are no longer accepting the way things have been are okay. And that's how humanity is going to grow, and that's how we're going to be able to demand together the changes to our laws, the changes to our policy, and the changes to our systems to really protect children, because at the moment they're not. They're protecting pedophiles. So thank you for all you are doing. I'll be in touch with more details about the event on the 26th of June, but please pencil that one in on your calendars. I can't wait to see massive gatherings of people rising up for our children, both here in Australia, in the UK, and all around the world. And how exciting is it that people are marching for our children? People are hitting the streets to say enough is enough. And to the pedophiles out there, to the protectors of pedophiles, they're going to be trembling. They're going to be thinking, people are waking up. This shit show's over. And that's what we want. People are commenting, why attend a demonstration? What does it achieve? These days are days where we bring our energy together, we work towards a common goal, we make connections, we build networks, and we take action. And that's what the growth of humanity is about. That's the revolution that's happening right now. And it is a very incredible time to be alive, as much as it is challenging. And we're all a part of that. Every day we have a choice of, whether to take action, to take some small steps, to do one thing, to be positive, to send our energy out into the world in a beautiful way, inspiring change both in ourselves and in the world around us. Or, we can become apathetic, can be too hard, it's never worked. This is just the way things are. You don't want to get caught up in that. I like to think about every day, what can I do today? What choices do I have? I might not be able to go out and call a military trial or speak to the Prime Minister because he's refusing to return my emails. However, there are things that I can do to raise awareness. So let's focus on those things. Let's keep walking forward. We have 55,000 signatures and we've moved massively in the last week. And I can see so many new eyes, so many new people starting to follow, and even people that have been watching or maybe not commenting are suddenly waking up to it and seeing these marches, seeing these actions being taken by people all around the world, and realizing, why is this not being shown on the media? The corruption in our world is being revealed at an exponential scale at the moment. And we're a part of leading that change. We're a part of offering people solutions and offering people support. So thank you so much for all you are doing. I will be in touch to advise more as we get bits and pieces confirmed for the events on the 26th of June. And let's all rise up, walk for our children, march for our children, and take action for our children. Because without us, they don't have a voice. And as Tim Ballard said, if not us, then who? Thanks, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye.